It all started when Elton John donated a piano to St Pancras station, railway station in London. And then this chap called Brendan Kavanagh rocked up, literally, started playing the piano, very talented fellow. And then one day, and everybody was really happy. And then one day, a group of Chinese people turned up and told him told his assistant to stop filming. There was a discussion about freedom of speech thereafter. I'll be talking about that. I'm Granny Opterix. Most of you will have already seen the video showing the Chinese delegation group, TV company or whatever it was, turning up next to Dr. K's piano while he was rocking away and said, "You've got to stop filming because we have image rights over our own faces." And Mr. Kavanagh said there was no such right in Britain, and said something like, "Well, we're not in China now, and in Britain it's legal to do that." Whereupon what appears to be the handler of the group started getting extremely, surprisingly, and even terrifyingly aggressive. Okay, you'll find all those films on all over the internet now. Those Chinese really did exemplify the Streisand effect, which might actually now be called the I was going to say the don't touch her effect, the Chinese effect maybe. There was an incident, what part of the incident was when Brendan was standing quite close to one of the people. This handler was shouting, "Don't touch her, don't touch her." And he kept on saying that. In one of those situations where you know he's trying to make it look as if somebody is doing something that they're not. All right, we all know about that. What really interested me, though, was this policewoman. And you look at her and you think, what side is she on? There's somebody who's just playing the piano. There's a group of Chinese people who appear to be very aggressive, and he's playing the piano. It's not like he walked over to them. And then she comes over to him and starts telling him off. And you can see she is really trying to put him in the wrong. I am so glad that Mr. Kavanagh kept his cool, because he could have got, one little thing and she could have accused him of being aggressive and arrested him. I think she was just waiting for that to happen. Here, this is I'm afraid the sound isn't that good and the subtitles are going crazy because of it. But I think you'll get the gist.
Listen, I've got my camera on.
Okay,
and
so
we're
I've
just
got my
having a
camera. Let's have a conversation then.
This is going on your YouTube channel and I don't want it to go on your YouTube
Well,
channel.
don't talk to me then, Kerry.
Listen.
She's Kerry, we're in Britain.
Right.
We're in a public space. We've got a free country.
The first of the matter is that you're shouting communist comments.
She's asking him not to film her. And he's telling her that he has every right to do that. So she's being awkward to start with. And he's saying, we're in a public space, we got free, he said free speech. And let's see how jumbled the subtitles are.
I said, you're waving a communist flag. That's all I said.
And the hands were meant to...
They had accused him of being racist. And he's explaining to the policewoman that he said to them, "You're waving a communist flag," and then he said something like, "We're not communists here," or "This is Britain," something like that.
And the hands were meant to be going towards her. Were you trying to touch her in that
I was
regard?
not trying to touch her. That's why I have a camera.
And there's the allegation that he was trying to touch one of the women there, which he was not. You can look on the internet. I'm not going to waste time with that. It's quite obvious he was not being aggressive.
Right, okay.
That's why I have a camera.
They've requested that the video where they've approached gets deleted and not used on your channel.
So now she is very reasonably, like some sort of a kindergarten teacher, explaining very reasonably to Mr. Kavanagh. They've asked you to remove any pictures on your channel in which their faces appear, in which they appear. And he's saying no. But the fact that this policewoman is actually saying this to him is incredibly disturbing. I am very offended by it. This policewoman is supposed to be upholding British law, not Chinese law. And if he has refused their request, it is not her business to try and reinforce that. Can you see how she's leaning into him? She really is being very aggressive towards him. Passive aggressive, really. Let's carry on.
Well, they should be. You're not their private security agent.
I'm not their private security agent.
And then he says, I have so much respect for Mr. Kavanagh. He says, you're not their private security agent. In other words, why are you doing this? And she says, I'm not their private security agent, but she very much is.
And we're in a free country, we're in a free space, we're not causing the trouble. The problem is not from us, Kerry. The problem is they are coming over, telling us what to do. I'm playing the piano. Now, fair is fair, but you are not their private security guards.
I never said I was, and I'm having a conversation with you.
And
I'm having a conversation. No, she isn't. She is actually threatening him.
Security guards.
I never said I was, and I'm having a conversation with you.
And we're in a free space, in a free country. I'm not.
And then he says we're in a free space and a free country, and well, I don't know, I can't make out what he said next, and neither could the subtitles, but that's enough.
Causing any trouble.
There's an allegation being made.
And then she says there's an allegation being made. And then he asks her what the allegation is, and she doesn't tell him. I'm not sure she knows that there has been an allegation. I think she might be making that up.
What's the allegation? Now, you told me to stop.
What is happening here is that she has her uniform on and is threatening him against the law. She is acting against the law. I'm not a lawyer. I mean, so maybe I'm wrong here. But threatening a private citizen when that private citizen is not doing anything wrong seems to me to be probably against the law. Okay, probably.
Filming, and now you say there's an allegation. The camera never lies.
Allegation.
That's why I filmed. You told me to turn off my camera, and now you're saying I've got an allegation.
So he's going, you said I should turn off my camera, and then he said, then he says that she said, now there's an allegation. You know, all of this is coming at him, and he's keeping his cool very well. But he could have, you know, started shouting at that point. Many people would, and then she would have arrested him. And that would have solved her problem of taking the side of somebody who's being completely unreasonable. But with this idea of racism hanging over her, she feels she has to do that. Do you know, I believe that the people who were there wrote into various media outlets saying that this man was racist because he mistook them for Japanese. Well, if that isn't the most racist thing I have ever heard, then oh, that reminds me of Hercule Poirot, which people kept saying he was French, and he kept correcting them, saying he was Belgian. I'm interrupting to remind you to click like and to subscribe and share. Also, I'm constantly being told that YouTube removes subscriptions. So please click the notification bell and check that you really are subscribed. All the links to my other channels are in the description, including links to donation sites. I'm always grateful, of course, for donations, but simply clicking like is the best thing you can do for this video and my channel generally. Thank you. Reminding them he was Belgian. Do you remember that? Okay. The Chinese took offence because somebody called them Japanese. Is that not racist? As it turns out, there was also a Japanese film crew there at the same time, and he originally thought they were all part of the same group.
Camera, and now you're saying I've got an allegation. What's the allegation?
The reason why I'm asking you not to film it is because I know that you are putting this on your YouTube.
Doesn't matter where it goes.
And so she's saying, I'm asking you to cut the film because this is going to go on YouTube. And they're in a public space. It's perfectly legal.
We're in a free country. Sorry, we're in a democracy. We're not in China. And that's not racist, that's the truth. That's what our forefathers fought.
Right, now, hang on. He said, and we're not in China. And then you see that smile of triumph on her face. Exactly. But you can't say that. That's racist. Where did this woman get any sort of training? He's saying they're from China and he's not, and they're not in China now and can't apply Chinese rules. She says, gotcha, that's racist. How disgraceful.
Exactly, but you can't say things like that either.
Oh, and I'm not singling this woman out either. She is parroting the line that she has been given. Any other police officer in her situation would probably be saying exactly the same words.
Say
Say what?
like that.
That we're in a free country?
No, but we're not in China. We've got
Well, we're
Chinese
not.
people example.
Well, they came. Listen, Kerry, if I was over in China and I started laying the law down to Chinese people at the piano, telling them what they cannot do you think that's appropriate? They came over here, the guy started shouting at me, and he said, "You're not allowed to film, you're not allowed." And I said, "Sorry, we're in Britain, I'm allowed to play." And I said, "You're waving a communist flag." And then he said, "You're racist." So if I've done anything wrong, tell me.
Right, okay.
We're in a this is a free speech issue. I'm sorry. This is a free speech issue. I'm not causing any trouble. They are the ones making a fuss. And they shouldn't get the police as their private security. I think it's a disgrace.
Nobody said that, have they? Who said that?
Right, now she's gaslighting. She said nobody said, but just a minute ago she was accusing him implicitly of being racist. They must get special training to do this.
And on top of that, Kerry, you told me to stop filming and then you said there's an allegation. Now, if I didn't have my camera, how would I prove my innocence? You know what? I know they are causing the fuss. I am not causing the fuss. I'm just standing up for myself, right?
There's a fuss being caused and I've come up to deal with it.
Oh, no, listen, Kerry. What's causing the fuss?
Listen, you can't say that.
What, they're from China?
Did you see? You can't. He said, I know they're from China. And she says, you can't say that. You can't say what is true. That is what this policewoman is enforcing. She is enforcing a rule that she has picked up from the ether, that you can't say that somebody is from China when they're from China, when they actually say they're from China, when they're making a business out of being in London from China. You can't say that like a kindergarten teacher.
What, they're from China? They're
From China, for fuck's sake.
Just look how she's leaning into him.
Yeah, they've got a communist. Well, can I just say they're from China without the F? I'm sorry for the F word.
But you know
they've
exactly
got.
what you
Listen,
said
they
there.
are waving a communist flag, and I said you're waving a communist flag. Is that racist to say they've got a communist flag? Look.
Chinese New Year, isn't it? What Chinese New Year?
I know. I've got nothing. Listen, I'm just playing at the piano. They stood by the piano. I was filming, and then they started laying down the law. I'm not doing anything. I'm not getting you with their private security. That's why the police get in the hate, because it's not your job. You should listen. You should tell them.
I'm not telling them anything that you're telling me to tell them.
Right.
Okay. Get on, play your piano. I'll have a discussion with them.
Tell them.
Okay, she's given up. She's not said she's been defeated in this argument, but she has been. But what horrifies me is that she took that position in that argument in the first place. That is absolutely shocking. I mean, you might say, I shouldn't be shocked with the Met Police being in the state it is, but I think it's the police all over this country, and that is truly terrifying. Okay, till next time.
For the money, for the show. Little pink, go, go. You know when you put over here. Go! Rocky, rocky, rocky. We're really going to get in trouble. Rocky, 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 rocky. ping, go, go, go. You're not